The Army Family Readiness Programs, a great asset to military families that in part helps deal with the stress of Army personnel being away from home. Support communities, online information access, and counseling resources are just a few of the programs offered by this wonderful organization. But one new program which we would like to introduce tonight helps our families deal with the stresses of their loved ones when they are home. It is known as the Army Reserve Respite Program. Family life is full of stress already. Take these happy children. Taking care of them is more stressful when working around Army schedules. Day-to-day life changes as well. These children start to absorb it. Usually, it begins with wearing boots or other random Army uniform items found around the house. Soon the reservist starts bringing home clothing with military slogans and insists on them being worn. Before long, the family member is assembled for morning reveille, as can be seen here. Without intervention, the family will soon be wearing uniforms, wearing cover outdoors, and saluting according to military regulation. This child unfortunately was placed on KP for wearing an Air Force flight suit without proper footwear. Another aspect of Army Reserve family life is the unusual training. Since the Army has more aircraft than the Air Force, some basic flight training is in order. This usually begins with basic aircraft orientation and ends with pilot and co-pilot training. No military program would be complete without physical training or PT. Reportedly, this Army officer is 26 years older than his son, but can still kick his ass. Family life starts to follow Army annual schedules complete with at-home annual training that would not be complete without web gear and helmet. They are never too young to start. Finally, they are never too young for chemical warfare training. This child received a no-go on this particular exercise and received a less than stellar OER. Now, a large part of being in the Army is learning about leadership and, as an extension of that leadership, delegation of authority. There is often quite a bit of delegation going on in an Army home. Soldiers tend to acquire a large amount of gear, which not only needs transportation, but also needs upkeep. Equipment must be transported for drill and AT. Boots and brass must have a mirror finish, and let us not forget correct patch placement. This is a by-hand process only, and can take hour upon hour upon hour to finally complete them correctly. But the Army has high standards, and patches must be properly centered and the appropriate distance from the seam. It's a good thing that this family has adequate communication tools to correct the issue in time for drill. After reviewing the message, the family member takes corrective action in a happy, enthusiastic way. Packing for frequent Army excursions is a very cumbersome task, which is also often delegated. Items must be properly stowed to keep these uniforms looking clean and sharp, but this delegated authority can lead to confusion without proper communication. Development of packing lists and a strategic map of a suitcase contents assures that the soldier has the right items and can find them in a timely manner. This represents another activity that family members take great pleasure in performing. Household duties that fall upon children can be diverse. There is usually basic maintenance that must be performed, but one of the roles that is overlooked comes in the form of education and management of home computer solutions. Military personnel are no strangers to acronyms and abbreviations. Most of these children feel that this abbreviation should be familiar to the reservist. For those of you not in the military, here is a brief translation. Should this approach fail, the children have only the ability to subtly protest in any way they can. So, as you can see, the family life of a reservist has its challenges. Please support the Army Reserve family programs, and in doing so, help those families with loved ones abroad and at home.